Sherry Hu, music tech writer, and hopefully, Sherry, I got your name right, and author of the newsletter Music and Water, which is great. It's well worth subscribing to, and you'll find it down in the info box. Says that it says that as a Spotify user, she runs into these scams often, usually on the release radar or Discover Weekly playlists, which are both, I think, automated playlists. So maybe with all the billions of dollars that Spotify plans to invest in Europe, they could invest a few of those dollars somewhere in Europe. That's fine. It doesn't have to be anywhere else. In hiring a few people to actually oversee these automated lists. You know, how much would it cost? A couple $100,000? It's a rounding error on what he's planning on investing in other things. Maybe you should invest it first in the business that's actually made him the money. Anyway, continuing. According to Sherry, the blame lies more with the music distributors than the streaming platforms themselves. I don't know if I agree. When an unsigned artist or small label wants to put a song on Spotify, they have to go through a third-party distribution service like CD Baby to get it done. It's the job of these services to make sure that the metadata is up to snuff, check for copyright infringement, and upload the song to Spotify's library. Yeah, okay, so far so good. Sherry thinks that what happened here was an error in the metadata. The number of different third-party distributors is high, she said, and each one has its own set of standards for the metadata artists are asked to provide. When those standards are low, often what it leads to is an incomplete picture when Spotify tries to identify an artist, or in this case, an altogether skewed one. All right, so this is all to do with the massive bureaucracy that we pay a percentage of our income to see that we see something at the end, financially, at the end of all of our labor. And it is as screwed up as anyone would imagine when we're still out there having agencies collecting mechanical royalties in the digital age. So this is a really widespread problem that someone in the industry should take a lead on, but everyone seems to prefer to sweep under the carpet as the major labels die and these music services that have made their fortune on our creativity now diversify and start eating up other industries. Lovely. So anyway, continuing. Keeping all this in mind, we can begin to piece together how the song made it onto TV Girl's artist page. It's likely someone submitted it to a distributor with low metadata standards, La Cupola Media, in this case, under the name of TV Girl, along with perhaps a dozen other songs under a dozen other popular artist names. So the scammer here, right? When the distributor, who was paying no attention and didn't think, hey, wait a second, why is this Lady Gaga song country? Did she change direction? And rather than doing that, the distributor just sort of pushed the paper along, right? And uploaded the song to Spotify, who wasn't paying any attention because it's all automated, and they've also pushed off as much of the work to others. And instead of creating a new artist ID tag, because that would have involved doing some work, for the artist named TV Girl, which was a fake, it just used the existing one. Now, whether this was just negligence or they were in on the scam, who knows? But the end result was that the independent artist was the one who got screwed, to be quite honest. As a result, when the song went live, it posted to the existing TV Girl account. Of course it did, because that was the one with 1 million monthly listeners. It wasn't going to post on my account, right? With nowhere near 1 million monthly listeners. Further complicating things, because things could not be complicated enough to begin with, is the fact that Spotify doesn't actually delete songs from its library or create new artist pages. So by the time Spotify and La Coppola Music overcame the bureaucratic hurdles, yeah, right? Accept that at face value, of coordinating to identify and resolve the issue, the song had already been up for 2 weeks, making money for the scammers and destroying the independent artist's career. It's not uncommon for scammers to upload bootlegged copies of popular songs to the original artist's account and collect the royalties. This is like criminal. This is crime. Why isn't anyone doing anything about it? It's just like it's all you're doing is supporting the scammers.